What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm finally going to be showcasing some of my own battles in the Catch Cup, and you may have already noticed this team is almost identical to the team I shoutcasted just a few days ago. Well, I've basically only built the Paldean Pokemon and the new Shadow Pokemon this season, so it was always a high chance that I might showcase some similar Pokemon to what people are submitting. Well, I did these battles on the first day of the Catch Cup, so obviously before I received that submission, but since I've been asking basically all season long for some high elo spicy battles, there was no way I was going to turn down Zystig27's submission despite the very similar team. One big difference however is that he used Excadrill as a safe swap. I'm utilizing it as a closer, which I believe is by far its strongest position, so despite the similar teams, we're actually going to play these battles very differently, so don't worry, these battles won't feel too repetitive, and if they do then you can always just click off the video if you're really finding it that boring. But with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. If you can make one change to the Catch Cup to prevent people from just rebuilding the same meta Pokemon every single season, what would that change be and why? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, each Shadow Sneasler into Toxapex. So this is a fairly okay matchup. What I'm going to do is actually stay in, bank a close combat, since I did take resisted damage from those poison jabs, and then safe swap into my Shadow Whiscash. I'm going to full send the Blizzard here, but the opponent shields the first move. Typically, they don't shield the first move there. I usually always just full send that Blizzard, and it's actually really bad that they did shield that. And now what I'm going to do is force the opponent to try and throw their energy as soon as possible, and I'm going to go for another Blizzard, but they're already at the next charge move, so I'm actually just going to let Whiscash go down. They've already revealed they are running Mud Bomb and Aqua Tail, so I'm now going to go for a close combat here, throwing just before they make it to the next Aqua Tail, and the opponent is going to double shield their Quagsire, swap back into the Toxapex, and at this point we've got two shields. I'm just going to let the Brine take us out, come in with my Shadow Excadrill, and Shadow Excadrill with two shields is absolutely deadly, especially when you can build up so much energy up against a Poison Jab user like the Toxapex. Now here, I build up to 99 energy, I do believe. I actually undercharge that so I can get one extra mud shot, get the farm down. They have a move bank, but that's fine with me. I'm going to shield this up. I will now over farm in this matchup. I don't know what's in the bag. Throwing once again just before they make it to the next charge move. Drill Run takes out the Quagsire, and they have a Clodsire in the back. We build up to the back-to-back drill runs. The first drill run is going to do big damage there. The second one will be enough damage to easily take out the Clodsire from this range, and I'm able to sweep that game with my Shadow Excadrill. So yeah, you can see already insane closer in this meta. Obviously we had some pretty favorable Pokemon to face in that battle, but into the next game we see a Shadow Dragonair in the lead. We should be winning CMP, so I'm just going to full send the close combat. No point in baiting here. Close combat grabs the shield from the opponent. I mean, I suppose there probably is a point in baiting just because Shadow Dragonair is almost definitely going to shield that, but we're going to come in with the Shadow Whiscash. We will be able to barely outpace them. One turn swap, get to the Mud Bomb in 5 mud shots there, getting there one turn before their next Body Slam, and I'm actually going to shield the Body Slam here. I don't know what they've got in the back, and the opponent comes in with a Clefable. All shields are down, so I can safely go for the Blizzard, and Blizzard is going to do massive damage to the Clefable, although I actually don't know because I haven't played Whiscash in ages, but 2 Mud Bombs probably is better now since Mud Bomb did get buffed a few seasons ago, so maybe I'm playing that completely wrong, but doesn't matter. We take them out with the Mud Bomb. They come in with a Skeledirge, and now I think all we've got to do here is make a catch onto my Sneasler as they reach the charge move, and I'm able to do exactly that. I've got to be careful though, Dragonair does have some energy, not loads, but I'm going to farm to 4. The opponent actually swaps into the Dragonair, so we go for that drill run straight away, and I know I am just one mud shot away from the next move, and I will be able to get there before the Incinerate damage registers. Drill Run takes out the Skeledirge, and once again the Shadow Excadrill is able to sweep. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Victory Bell in the lead, so great to see it in the lead, and the opponent is actually choosing to stay in here, so potentially Shadow Sneasler breaks their core, but they're actually going to swap eventually, trying to catch the Aerial Ace. Good play by the opponent, but I can just come in with my Excadrill, correctly shield up the Earthquake, and now I can farm once again to 99 energy, go for the Drill Run, and from this range, it takes out the Clodsire, and the opponent comes in with a Spark Lantern. This is a incredibly positive matchup, especially with a massive energy advantage. We're going to go and farm, throw on the CMP tie, going for the Drill Run, and Drill Run is going to grab the final shield from the opponent. At this point, I can happily let the Excadrill go down. Surf will be enough damage to take us out. We're going to come in with the Whiscash, and they swap. I'm going to come back in with my Sneasler, go for the Aerial Ace straight away. This will be taking out the Victory Bell, and I will be able to make it to a close combat, throwing on the CMP tie once again, and close combat from this range takes out the Lantern, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Sneasler into Cofagrigus. Now this is a good matchup for us because we do hit for super effective damage with the Shadow Claws, but I do believe we do lose the zero shield scenario. So I'm going to shield. I'm not going to throw straight away because there's no point in throwing straight away. Instead, I'm going to build up to nearly 100 energy, go for the Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace will be taking out the Cofagrigus. And let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with a Shadow Gligar, I believe that was. So we go for an Aerial Ace here, and then I'm going to swap into my Whiscash. We actually grab a shield there, which is really nice for us because that wouldn't do that much damage. Blizzard obviously going to one-shot them anyway, so it doesn't really matter if they had half their health remaining. But now they're going to swap into Lickitung. Lickitung, a little bit annoying here, but it doesn't really matter. We've got a massive energy advantage. We go for the Mud Bomb straight away this time around, and then we go for Mud Bomb number 2. And Mud Bomb will be getting the Lickitung fairly low. We actually throw on the CMP tie, which is really nice for us. The opponent goes for a Body Slam. It takes out the Whiscash. We don't have much health on the Sneasler left, so I'm actually going to have to come in with my Excadrill, go for the Drill Run here, throwing just as they're making it to the next charge move. The opponent chooses not to throw. They're going to come in with the Gligar. I'm going to overfarm, swap, catch the move as I make it to the charge move there. And the opponent full send the dig there. So can we make it to enough Rock Sides to take out the Shadow Gligar? Or will they be able to outpace us anyways? We go for the Rock Side there. That does big damage, but we're not going to be able to Mudshot farm them down, which is really unfortunate. I will have to make it to another Rock Side. Are they already at the back-to-back charge moves here? We're going to shield the first one. It is an Aerial Ace. And they weren't, but they were 1 away. We were 2 away from that Rock Side. And unfortunately, Aerial Ace will be taking out the Excadrill, and we do lose that game there. But GG's to that opponent, very well played. Into the next game, Conkeldurr in the lead, so a great lead matchup. The opponent save swaps into Vikavolt, and we're going to go for a Rock Side, throwing straight away here, just because they might be running Crunch. I don't know if they are running Crunch, so I'm actually going to use a Shield, and the opponent is going to go for that Crunch there, so good thing I did Shield. Crunch honestly would probably take us out. Excadrill and Vikavolt, very glassy Pokemon, very attack weighted, can hit very hard, and you can see just from the Mudshot damage, we've already got them into the yellow health, and Mudshot is just neutral damage as well. So once again, gonna farm, throw on the CMP tie every single time, and this Drill Run will be taking out the Vikavolt. And let's see, the opponent comes in with their Conkeldurr. I'm going to overfarm. They're actually running Poison Jab, it looked like there, so we are triple resisting that. So I take out the Conkeldurr, and they come in with a Charge Beam Lantern. So I feel like this opponent actually just forgot to build these Pokemon. Maybe they're doing Auto-Rect or something. That was like a very under-leveled Lantern as well. So not really sure what happened with that game there, but very comfortable win for the Excadrill. And into the next game, we see a... Okay, that's very bad. We see a Pidgeot in the lead, gonna save swap into my Whiscash, and unfortunately the opponent has a Shadow Victory Bell. They're able to Razorlay farm me down. They do tank the Mud Bomb there, so they put themselves into range where we can Shadow Claw, farm them down before they actually make it to a Leaf Blade. But I think that might be worse for us, just because now I'm not going to be able to swap out of this matchup. Switch Clock is nowhere near up yet, and I can make it to 1 Aerial Ace, grab a shield there, but they will be able to fully farm me down, and it's pretty obvious right now. They're just going to go for the debuffing move here, make my Excadrill completely useless. I've said already many times, 2 shields and a Shadow Excadrill is absolutely deadly, but not up against an opponent that can just permanently debuff you and render your Pokemon useless. We go for the Rock Side, we are quad debuffed, and that you can see just does very little damage. I'm actually going to shield just because I'm curious as to what they've got in the back, so I'm going to overfarm here, go for the Rock Side. Rock Side will be enough damage to take out the Pidgeot, and they have a Golbat in the back here, so actually very positive matchup for the Excadrill, but unfortunately with that debuff, Rock Side just doing very little damage there, and we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Clodsire in the lead. So once again, I believe I'm going to stay in, build up to the close combat since we do resist these poison stings, and then swap into my Shadow Whiscash. And even if they full send an Earthquake, we can live it fairly comfortably. So I'm going to let the first one go through, and I'm going to go for a Mud Bomb here, throwing just before they make it to the next charge move. Mud Bomb actually grabs the shield there, as we did build up to the Blizzard. Mud Bomb shouldn't be taking them out from this range, and you can see it does do a decent amount of damage there, but they can comfortably live it. I'm actually just going to let Whiscash go down as the Earthquake takes us out. but we did grab a shield advantage. They also didn't swap out of that matchup, so I'm thinking maybe Excadrill can just sweep in this game if we can go for a full mudshot farm down, which looks very likely here, and we do get that farm down. We have so much loaded energy. The opponent comes in with a charger bug. We're going straight for the rock side. This is non-stab, but it still does huge damage to the Vikavolt. I'm actually going to go for a drill run on the CMP tie here, throwing just because in case they swap out, it was likely that they were going to swap into something that is weak to the ground typing, but actually it's a Excadrill, which is both weak to ground and rock. We grab the final shield, and now we can just swap into our Shadow Sneasler, go for an Aerial Ace. This won't be enough damage to take them out, but I can very easily either Shadow Claw, farm them down, or make it to another Aerial Ace, and this will easily take out the Excadrill from this range, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Sneasler into Carbink. So this is a fairly okay matchup for our lead, but also very good for our back Pokemon. So I might go and throw the close combat. No, actually the opponent tries to catch a close combat onto their Trevenant. Smart play, but probably not the best timing there. It would have been more likely for me to build up to the back-to-back close combats if I was going to go for close combat, but now I can just go for back-to-back Aerial Aces, winning the CMP tie, and I think I've got just about enough health here to make it to another Aerial Ace before they farm me down, and this will definitely take out the Trevenant from this range. We've got switch advantage, we've got a shield advantage as well. So it's looking pretty good for us. They swap into Obstagoon. I actually don't want them to farm me down there, so I swap into my Shadow Whiscash, and the sort of positive here is that the opponent very unlikely to swap into their Carbink because I've got Whiscash, so they're going to stay in with their Obstagoon. We go for the Blizzard there. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite take them out because they did go for an Obstruct. At this point, I'm just going to shield, make sure I get rid of the Obstagoon. They actually go for another Obstruct, which wouldn't actually take us out from that range, but Mud Bomb takes out the Obstagoon. They will be able to Rock Throw, farm me down because of the debuff to my defense, but it doesn't matter. We've got Shadow Excadrill in the back. Mud Bomb does connect. All we have to do is live a charge move here, and even though we do resist the Moonblast, that does a ton of damage, over 50% of our health, but it doesn't matter. We make it to that drill run, taking out the Carbink, and we're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Shadow Sneasler into Lopunny. So pretty annoying matchup here. The opponent is actually going to be running low kick, I believe that is, so that is definitely not the right move. Once again, it might be just that the opponent has maybe powered up the Pokemon and then forgot to give it the right moves here, but I'm going to use my shield since they are running an odd choice for their fast move. I have no idea what they could be running as their charge move, but the opponent makes a really good catch, catching a double resisted close combat onto their Jellicent, so great play, and I'm also forced to swap out there as I did debuff my defense, so really strong play by the opponent there. We're going to go for a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does get them fairly low. I should live anything they throw, and I will be able to make it to another Mud Bomb before they do make it to a Surf. So I'm actually going to overfarm, go for the Mud Bomb just before they get there, and Mud Bomb from this range will be taking out the Jellicent, and the opponent comes in with a Trevenant. I should commit to the Blizzard, but I'm not quite going to be able to get there. Does the opponent know my energy counts? Yes, they do, unfortunately, as they do no shield. So good counting by the opponent. We're now going to come back in with the Sneasler, and I'm hoping I can just fully Shadow Claw farm them down. But honestly, that's not going to happen, especially when they go for a Seed Bomb bait. But they swap back into Lopunny. Hopefully, they thought they caught an Aerial Ace here. But no, they do use their shield. We're going to swap into Excadrill, and this might be one of the only matchups where we're taking super effective damage from a fast move, but we're actually not taking that much damage because low kick is just a rubbish move. But here we go for the drill run, nearly take them out. And actually going to stop attacking here, hoping that I can Shadow Claw, farm them down, and outpace them to the charge move. But no, unfortunately, I'm not able to do so. They make it to Seed Bomb number 2, taking out my Sneasler, and unfortunately, I lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into next game, we see Excadrill, so pretty good matchup for my entire team if we do play it right. I'm going to go for an Aerial Ace, throwing just before they make it to the Shadow Ball or the Disarming Voice. And if they shield, then I'm going to go for two extra Shadow Claws, then swap into my Whiscash since they are very likely to just go for the Disarming Voice since I was very low. Now they come in with Bombardier, and I could shield and potentially bait with a Mud Bomb, but I'm actually just going to let the Whiscash go down here. Fly does a ton of damage in that matchup, but that's fine. I can now align my Shadow Excadrill. We do have a shield advantage. I'm actually going to overfarm here, go for the Rockside throw as they make it to a potential payback, and Rockside takes out the Bombardier, and let's see, the opponent comes back in with the Excadrill. I'm actually going to shield this up and then try to Mudshot farm them all the way down. They full send the Shadow Ball there, we get the Mudshot farm down, and they've got a Gligar in the back, so we're going for the Rockside. I'm then going to bank a second Rockside, and then swap into my Shadow Sneasler here, go for a close combat, and even though it is resisted damage, this is going to do huge damage to the Gligar. The opponent lets it go through, and we actually take out the Gligar from that range, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Quagsire in the lead. So you saw in the previous video, Quagsire, Core Breaker to their team. Also pretty strong Core Breaker to my team. But the opponent actually not going to go for the Mud Bomb here. They go for an Aqua Tail. We do live that. Now I'm going to go for a close combat. And then I might swap out, or I might just let them farm me down. No, I do swap into my Shadow Whiscash. And the opponent comes in with Licky Tongue. So Licky Tongue, bit problematic here. We're going to go for a Blizzard straight away. Usually they don't shield the first charge move here. And the opponent does let that go through. We also make it to a Mud Bomb, throwing what looks to be on a CMP tie as well, which is great for us. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite take them out, but I can just safely shield this up. They go for Power Whip. Even if they baited with a Body Slam, they wouldn't make it to another Power Whip, so absolutely fine with me. They come back in with the Quagsire. We can tank anything they throw, assuming it's not an Earthquake, and it is just an Aqua Tail here, so we're going to overfarm just a tiny amount, go for the Mud Bomb, try and throw the opponent off our counts here, and the opponent, nope, they're just going to throw pretty much straight away, go for the Aqua Tail, taking out the Whiscash. And this is still a tricky situation to be in, so we're going to come in with our Excadrill, try to catch the move onto our Sneasler, and we are able to perfectly catch the move, but I still think they're going to be able to outpace us in this matchup here, so we're going to go for a draw run, throw it on the CMP tie, and this will be taking them out. Do they want to shield here? No, they're going to let it go down. They come in with a Sableye. Now, this is technically a positive matchup when both Pokemon are at full health, but can we take them out with a draw run with just minimal Mudshot damage? Does this KO the Sableye? No, it barely doesn't, and they are able to Shadow Claw, farm me down, and I do unfortunately lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Obstacoon in the lead, so actually not that ideal of a matchup. I'm going to swap, bank a close combat, and then catch the move onto my Shadow Whiscash. Surf, not going to do too much damage. These sparks are resisted. I'm going to go for a Mud Bomb as the opponent reaches the next Surf. This will not be enough damage to take them out, but hopefully that puts them into perfect farm down range for my Shadow Whiscash. They go for the Surf there, and can we get the full farm down? Yes, we can. We are very close to the Blizzard. I'm going to full send it up against the Obstacoon. They know they have to shield a close combat, so they let the Blizzard go through. Does big damage in this matchup. And now we can also go for the Aerial Ace, which is not going to debuff our defense, so a lot safer for us and also a little bit cheaper. We grab the shield there with that Aerial Ace. We're now going to shield. We are getting quite low. Everything should be resisted here, but we don't really want to align our Excadrill to that Obstacoon, so gonna use my shield, go for the Aerial Ace, once again throwing just before I make it to the next move. They come in with a Trevenant. Now, this isn't a good matchup for the Excadrill, but if we stay in, get off enough Shadow Claw damage, we should put them into comfortable range where a Rock Slide will take them out here. So we go for the Rock Slide straight away, and Rock Slide takes out the Trevenant, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Sneasler into Clodsire. So once again, probably going to stay in initially, build up to the close combat, and then swap into my Shadow Whiscash. I'm not trying to catch a move there or anything. I'm just banking that close combat, since it will be a lot more useful up against other Pokemon. But unfortunately, Drifblim isn't one of those Pokemon, as it will be triple resisted. But there, we go for the Blizzard. Probably could have baited there, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent goes for Icy Wind, and if they go for another Icy Wind, I might actually live this, and then be able to make it to another Blizzard. And we do barely live that, but we don't get off the Blizzard. That is really painful. Unfortunately, new mechanic not coming in our favor that time around, but we're now going to go for an Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace will not do that much damage, but I'm thinking they're just going to go for another Icy Wind, so I'm actually going to let this move go through, and they do go for the Icy Wind. I don't think I can Shadow Claw farm them down because of the debuff, so we go for the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace takes them out even with the undercharge. I was hoping to get one more Shadow Claw through, but it doesn't really matter. The opponent comes in with a Cofagrigus. We're now going to go for that Drill Run, and Drill Run is going to do big damage in this matchup, but unfortunately not quite enough damage to where I can just Mudshot farm them down. So I'm going to use my shield here as they go for that Dark Pulse. They are running Poison Sting on their Clodsire, so they're not going to be able to fast move farm me down. They will have to throw a charge move to get rid of my Excadrill here, so I'm hoping one Drill Run will be enough damage to take them out from this range. We're going for the Drill Run here, and Drill Run is going to grab the final shield from the opponent. Can we make a catch? We're not able to do so, and as a result, the opponent over farms in this matchup, throwing just before we make it to a charge move. Sludge Bomb takes us out, and if this is a Sludge Bomb, it is triple resisted. But Sludge Bomb still takes out the Excadrill, unfortunately, and we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there, very well played. And into the next game, we see Bombardier in the lead, so not great for us. Going to save swap into my Shadow Whiscash. Obviously, we have to land a Blizzard to take them out here, so In this matchup, I will actually bait with a Mud Bomb. The opponent goes for a Fly. That does so much damage. Honestly, Fly, really good charge move. I think it's only Bombardier and Flying Pikachu that can learn it currently. But here, because we bait, we're able to make it to the Blizzard. But the opponent, perfect counting, catches the Blizzard onto their Excadrill. So, incredible play by the opponent there. And they did bank a ton of energy on the Bombardier as well. We're going to go for an Aerial Ace here just because I don't want to use my shield. Aerial Ace will be taking out the Excadrill, and I'm instantly going to swap into my Excadrill. They do have a lot of energy. I'm going to shield this up. Honestly, even if they go for Fly, that is going to do so much damage. So I'm basically going to shield anything they throw. We do make it to the Rock Slide, and I think that was a CMP tie. Rock Slide grabs the shield, and it was a CMP tie. I'm pretty confident this is just a Fly, but I'm going to shield it anyways. And now I can overfarm just slightly in this matchup. The opponent actually goes for the catch there. We're going to go for a drill run, and what I'm hoping to do is make a catch onto my Sneasler, but you can see my switch clock is not up yet, and I was hoping they would overfarm, but they don't overfarm, and now Earthquake will be taking us out. They're also too low for me to get a perfect farm down and come out with a close combat loaded, so I could have played that very differently. I could have either thrown my charge move with my Excadrill and then just forced the opponent to throw on their Bombardier, or I could have maybe stopped attacking for a while to make sure I came out of the matchup with the Clodsire with a close combat loaded. But either way, GG's to that opponent, very well played. And into the next game, we're going to full send a close combat into this Guzzlord. The opponent does correctly shield, so I'm going to shield as well, swap into my Whiscash, and the opponent is going to stay in initially, and they are going to try catch the Blizzard onto their Quagsire. That's fine, I'm going to full send a Blizzard anyways. It does connect, and now we can go for a Mud Bomb, and this will threaten to KO the opponent, so they are probably going to use their shield. They do use their shield. All shields are now down, so I'm going to let Whiscash go down here. Actually, this probably won't take them out as they go for a Mud Bomb. They have to throw another move, and as a result, they throw on the CMP tie. So Mud Bomb does take us out. We're going to come in with the Sneasler, hopefully get the full farm down here, and we do. They weren't running Aqua Tail, which is amazing for me. We come out with nearly a close combat loaded, but the opponent comes in with a flying type. I didn't actually see what it was. It is a Golbat, so now we can come in with our Shadow Excadrill, and we will make it to a Rock Slide on the CMB type with the Shadow Ball. Luckily, the opponent doesn't make the catch, so we take out the Golbat, and now I should be able to shield once and hopefully take out the Guzzlord from this range with a single drill run before they make it to a potential Brutal Swing or Crunch. And does the drill run take out the Guzzlord? Yes, it does, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, very well played. Into the next game, we see Jellicent in the lead, so I'm going to stay in this matchup initially. Shadow Claw damage is really chunking the Jellicent, but Aerial Ace, whilst it did get buffed this season, still not going to do too much damage here. We do grab a shield though, and now I'm going to swap, catch the move onto my Whiscash. Hopefully it is just a Surf, since Surf would do quite a lot of damage to that Sneasler, and the opponent comes in with a Medicham now. We haven't actually seen too many Medicham, which I was kind of surprised about. I just thought, like, if people are wanting to climb, they're probably just going to build another Medicham, but it looks like quite a lot of people have been using the newer Pokemon that have either released this season or some of the new Shadow Pokemon. But here, we're going to throw on the CMP type with this Medicham, going for the Aerial Ace, and the opponent is going to let Medicham go down there, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They are going to come back in with the Jellicent. They're already at Surf number 2, so I'm going to use my shield here. I will be able to outpace them to the next charge move, and the opponent is going to stay in this matchup, allow me to make it to the Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace grabs the final shield from the opponent. At this point, I'm actually just going to put all my faith into my Shadow Excadrill. The opponent goes for the Surf, they come in with a Steelix, and this is such a positive matchup for us. We can go for the Drill Run. Drill Run is going to do big damage there. They actually do live that. They make it to a Breaking Swipe, but it doesn't matter. It is resisted damage. We can tank that very comfortably. Go for the Mud Shot farm down, make it to a Drill Run once again up against this Jellicent, and this will be enough damage to take out the Jellicent, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Sneasler into Mandibuzz. So not a great lead for us. Actually not that bad though, because they are running Snarl. So I'm going to stay in. I actually go for the close combat on the CMP tie. The opponent also throws straight away. We do connect. That does big damage here. And now I'm going to shield up the Aerial Ace, and then I'm going to try and swap, catch the next move onto my Whiscash, and I'm able to perfectly catch the move here, as the opponent is going to go for another Aerial Ace. Doesn't do too much damage, although I do have to full send a Blizzard to get rid of the Mandibuzz from this range, so they're actually going to stay in this matchup. I do agree with their decision here. They might try and catch the Blizzard. Nope, they're going to stay in. We get to the Blizzard here, and Blizzard is going to take out the Mandibuzz from this range, and they come in with their own Sneasler, but this is non-Shadow, so they're actually going to get quite a big farm down with their Shadow Claw damage here, as they're able to take out my Whiscash, shield once, come out with so much loaded energy, So I'm going to come in, go for the aerial ace straight away, and the opponent doesn't throw either. So aerial ace grabs the final shield from the opponent. I thought about trying to catch an aerial ace, but I thought it was quite risky, so I don't go for the catch. I actually just fully sacrifice the Sneasler, and if they go for close combat here, I should be able to fully mudshot farm them down, and they do go for the close combat, but they swap into their Clodsire. I just need to make it 2 back-to-back draw runs, but the opponent got a 0-turn swap, and that allows them to CMP tie me. Draw run doesn't quite take them out there, and they do make it to that Earthquake. Earthquake takes out the Excadrill, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Let me know in the comments if you regularly get 0-turn swaps, or if it always feels like you're taking 1 turn to swap out and your opponents are always getting those 0-turn swaps. I find it really annoying, but we just one-shot the Steelix there as they weren't expecting us to full send a close combat straight away. Now we can swap into our Whiscash here. The opponent going to stay in. Maybe they're weak to Whiscash in the back, I'm not really sure, but we're going to go for back-to-back Mud Bombs. Probably grab both shields from the opponent, and we do exactly that. And now we're going to come in with our Shadow Excadrill. We're looking to be in a pretty good position here, as long as they don't have something that can just delete us. And nope, they've got a Dragalge in the back. This is a really positive matchup. We're going straight for the Drill Run. Drill Run one-shots Dragalge, and I will be able to shield, possibly double shield if they've got enough energy, and make it to a Drill Run to take out the Gardevoir from this range. And this should be game over for the opponent. Drill Run takes out the Gardevoir, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Sneasler into Shadow Quagsire. So once again, not a great lead for us, but the opponent safe swaps into Excadrill, and I was thinking the only reason for them to do that is if they've got like the middle stage Pokemon. I can't remember what it's called. Arctibax, that's the one. Because otherwise, why would you swap out of a positive matchup up against my Sneasler? I'm not really sure, but we're going to overfarm now. Go for the Rock Side. I was quite slow to swap out, but they full send an Avalanche, so I can overfarm quite a lot. And they come back in with the Quagsire. If they were running Arctibax, I tried to throw on the CMP tie, but the opponent is going to overfarm in this matchup and actually go for a full Mudshot farm down. So very smart by the opponent. We're going to come in with the Sneasler here, and I'm actually just going to let this move go through. Mud Bomb takes us out, and the opponent's got a Shadow, Alolan Sandslash in the back instead. So they were running a double ice backline, and I guess they were trying to bait out a potential fighting type, but unfortunately for them, it didn't really work out. And now we can just safely shield in this matchup. We can go for the Mud Bomb straight away. This will be getting rid of the Alolan Sandslash. And as long as the Quagsire isn't running Earthquake, we should be able to tank anything they throw and just go for the full Mudshot farm down. Mud Bomb doesn't do enough damage. Mudshot takes out the Quagsire, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Whiscash in the lead. So once again, not a great lead matchup for us. I'm going to swap into my own Whiscash, catch the charge move as they go for a Mud Bomb straight away. And the opponent's going to swap into a Munchlax. So quite a spicy pick here. Obviously, a lot of people running Licky Tongue, but Munchlax also quite a bulky Pokemon here. They are running Tackle instead of Lick though. So Tackle does get stabbed. We barely make it to the Blizzard, and we do connect with that Blizzard. That does huge damage, and honestly, it probably puts them into range where we can farm down with just the Mudshot damage here. And the good thing about Tackle is it is resisted by the Excadrill. We also throw on the CMP tie with a potential Bulldoze. The opponent shields up, so they are very likely at that Bulldoze and throwing it. So I'm going to use my shield. It is the Bulldoze. We can now go for the Mudshot farm down. And let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with the Shadow Whiscash. We go straight for the Drill Run here, and Drill Run is going to do huge damage. It barely doesn't take them out, so I swap. I wasn't really trying to catch the move. I was trying to snipe with the Shadow Claw damage, but instead I used my final shield, and they've got a Gligar in the back, and that was a big mistake. I think at this point they can just fully wing attack, farm me down. I'm not making it to 3 aerial aces, so we go for the close combat here. I need them to no shield. They shield it up, and they come out with a dig loaded. So bit of a mistake by me in the end game there, and it does cost me as the opponent goes for a dig, takes out my Excadrill, and we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Alolan Ninetales in the lead. Gonna say swap into my Whiscash, and the opponent responds with a Jellicent. So one of the good things about the Shadow Whiscash in this matchup is that Mud Bombs, well, actually, it's probably not that good, honestly. Mud Bombs still probably not enough to take them out with just 2 Mud Bombs and the Mudshot damage here, so probably is better for the regular Whiscash. But we're going to go for that second Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb will get the Jellicent into range where we can just fully Shadow Claw farm them down. I thought I might live a Surf here, but unfortunately we don't quite live that. So we're going to come in, go for the Shadow Claw farm down, and we get the farm down before they make it to the next surf, which is really good for us. We're going to swap into our Shadow Excadrill, and the opponent is going to stay in with their Clodsire initially, go for a charge move. I'm going to use my shield. They full send the Earthquake here, and they're staying in with their Clodsire, so I'm going to farm to nearly 100 energy. I farm to the back-to-back drill runs. First one, going to be grabbing a shield there. The opponent swaps back into their Ninetales, so we're going for a Rock Slide, and Rock Slide should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent. It does exactly that, and at this point, I'm actually just going to let this move go through. Weather Ball will be taking us out. We're going to come in with the Sneasler, go for the Close Combat on the CMP type. I need this to KO from this range, and Close Combat does exactly that. It takes out the Ninetales, and can we make it to the back-to-back Aerial Aces up against the Clodsire? It's going to be very close. We go for the first one. We are one Shadow Claw away from the next Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace does about enough damage to take them out, and we do make it to that second Aerial Ace now. Aerial Ace takes out the Clodsire, looked like a CMP tie as well, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.